Football Club. This time, Enzo Maresca comes out in a press conference and vehemently basically tells the world that he wants a new centre-half. I'm not exaggerating, this isn't clickbait, I'm going to explain. He also gives us an update on the team news for the Crystal Palace game. Fofana, Lavia, Badiashile and Trev update on their fitness. Then we've got more information coming out regarding Cucurella. Some people will worry, got 2 years left on his deal. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to sell him? Because Bowley said the minute you get to 2 years, you're gone. We're not even going to play around with it. You're leaving the club. But Cucurella signs a new deal, and we're going to talk about why this is the single most important moment of the Blue Coat era when it comes to new contracts. I'm going to explain. And finally, Omari Hutchinson and Mark Guehi are about to earn Chelsea north of £20 million. I can explain that, we can get into it, and I'm going to break it down. But before we get started, number one, you lot have been absolute stars, man. 1,500 likes for the Kavkas View. You lot have been hitting, you've been paying your rent. I'm a very happy landlord. So what I need you guys to do is pay your rent. This content is free. I don't ask for super chats. I don't receive no super chats, and we've got a nice contract going here. I don't charge you, I deliver the content. But what I do ask for is a like button and subscribe if you're new and you like my humour. Let's get it cracking. Enzo Maresca today had his press conference for Crystal Palace versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. And the reality is, it was heavily filled with the fact that centre-backs were the topic of conversation. Look, Levi Colwill has recently got injured, and it has really threw a spanner in the works for Chelsea centre-backs. I am of the mindset that Chelsea do not need a new centre-half. Chelsea have got 5 centre-backs on the books and an additional left-back. For those of you asking, who, like the New Day would say, it's very simple. We've got Hato at left-back that can do left-back and centre-back. We also have Josh Achampong, who could do centre-back and right-back. Then there's Fofana, who's coming back from injury, Badiashile, Toussaint and Chalobah. I'm not even counting Anselmino. We have got full coverage there. However, he was asked today in the press conference, do you want a new centre-half? And he said, my opinion is very clear. I think we should add. But we're going to look at internal and external solutions. And he reiterated this on 2 occasions. He openly said he would prefer somebody new, but they are going to look at internal and external solutions. My opinion now. Because what ended up happening after that point was there was more detail given. And the detail was very, very important. Because he said, look, last year we had 64 games. The 64 games, it was either Toussaint or Colwill that played in the middle. Toussaint can't play 64 games. It's not even that complicated. He cannot do 64 games in that position. Because they build in a 3. And we've spoken about it. For me, this is him being extremely rigid. A lot of people aren't going to like what I'm going to say, but I say what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I respect Enzo Maresca, and I believe, in theory, he is a brilliant manager, right? He has an idea, an identity of what he wants to achieve. However, managers need to be flexible. Not everything in your squad can be perfect. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You need to work with what you have. Levi getting injured is bad luck. What would you have done if Levi got injured in September? You would have found a way to work around it. So for me, you already have the talent there. Find a way to work around it. I don't think it's complicated. Play Hato there if you need it, because everyone said Hato is a brilliant ball player and defender. Or play Josh, or play Toussaint. You find a way to work around it, and people don't like that, because what people want to do is put the hand in their pocket, go into the market, buy a short-term fix. Unless they're going for somebody who is undistinguishably the best defender that we are going to get to start permanently, I'm not interested. We have talent. We have Josh Achampong, we have Hato, we've got Chalobah, we've got Toussaint, we've got Badiashile and Fofana. Make it work, Enzo. You know, it's really frustrating because everyone said, oh, Chelsea have no striker. Guess what we did? We put Neto up top. We made it work. We ground out results. Make it work. A lot of people aren't going to like this because people want us to go into the market. I don't think every time there's an injury, you run to the market. It creates more problems and squad bloating in the long term. That's my personal opinion. I need to hear yours. Do you think Chelsea need to go into the market? Because trust me, it is a controversial opinion I have. I know that. In regards to the team news regarding Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, Fofana looks to be back. He is fit, he's raring to go, he could be involved. That is great news. Fofana is our best centre-half. Fully fit, my man plays. It's not even complicated, right? I genuinely don't think people will debate the fact that he is one of our best defenders, if not the best. Then we got an update on Badiashile, and apparently Benoit's doing progress to get back, and Romeo's in the same camp. A lot of people have been having a huge go at players for being injured. I am not of that camp. I am frustrated, but I don't blame players for when they're injured. Because the reality is, I'm not their doctor, I'm not their mum, I'm not their nan, and nor am I their partner to be moaning that they're sitting around. I don't pay them. I am frustrated that they're not playing. I'm not going to blame them because I don't know what they do in their daily lives. They might be living the most perfect lives and their body just does not react to training under that intensity and they're injured. I don't know what's going on in Romeo's life, so I'm not going to give him extra aggro. So many people are going out there and DMing these players and messaging these players like, you don't want to play. Do you really think age 20 or 21 Romeo Lavia is not wanting to play football? Like, you need to get your brain checked if you actually believe that. The other piece of news is Trevor's fine. Trevor's ready to go and Trevor's okay. That comes from the big dog Enzo Maresca. No Fabrizio, no David Ornstein. The big dog Fabrizio Romano. The big dog Enzo Maresca. Blueco did something today that I absolutely adore. So what has happened recently is a big fear from a lot of this fan base, a huge fear from a lot of this fan base is that we're going to buy players young. These players are going to get to an age where they're all sick. And then we're going to start selling them on. The minute they get to 2 years on their contract, 3 years on their contract, we're going to look at it and we're going to say, sorry, geezer. Doesn't work like that. We're not giving you these wages. Have a nice, man. Have a nice, the way Vuj used to say. The problem is, Cucurella was the first litmus test for this. Cucurella next year was going to have 2 years left on his deal. And every conference that we ever hear Mr. Bowley talk, Todd Bowley actively tells us, if you get to 2 years, we've got a decision to make. We're either re-signing you or adios amigo, see you later, don't let the door hit you, kick rocks. That is literally what he says. And now, it's got to the point now where Marc Cucurella was going into his 2 and 8 months part of his contract. And this is where it got very interesting because we heard murmurs that the conversations were going to start. Today, Fabrizio says, signed, sealed, delivered. Marc Cucurella, new contract. This is wonderful news because this is the first illustration that the directors are rewarding players for doing well on contracts that were not given by them initially. Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart weren't the ones that signed Marc Cucurella. That was Todd Bowley and the agents that were involved at Chelsea during that first takeover. Marc Cucurella had a period where he was bad, then he had a period where he was fantastic, and now we're in a position where Marc Cucurella is absolutely El Fuego. For those that don't know, he's on fire. He's the fire, if the direct translation works out, right? He's the best left back in the league. And for me, he was already on, depending on what website you look, 150k to 170k. Now he's going to get a little pay bump. And what I loved about this is, we didn't hear it in the news. We didn't hear the negotiations going. There wasn't his camp set threatening to go to Barcelona. There wasn't Chelsea leaking that, you know what, Hato has to be the #1 option now. It was just signed, sealed and delivered. There was no drama. No panorama, no problema, nothing. It was nice, simple, concise, beautiful, everything you would want in life. Genuinely, it's so refreshing. You know, Fab just dropped it. I'm like, right, done deal. Okay, Marcus, curly hair staying and winning us free kicks because he's got the best asset in the world. Annoy the fullback, the winger so much that he ends up pulling his hair. Love it. Absolutely love it. Chelsea Football Club are about to get a lot of money right now, right? So Chelsea Football Club acquired Omari Hutchinson. I think it was for compensation of £3 million. So Omari ran his contract down, left Arsenal. Chelsea got some compensation due to something called the Bosnian rule, if I'm not mistaken. The way it works is if a player's under a certain age, if they leave, it goes to a tribunal. The tribunal says how much the player costs, and the club that lost the player for free gets compensated for losing the player. In this case, when Omari left Arsenal, he joined Chelsea Football Club. Omari Hutchinson will cost £3 million. Since then, Omari went on loan to Ipswich, smashed it, came back. Chelsea cashed in on him. I think they got around about 20 to 25 million pounds when they sold him to Ipswich, but they also included a pretty hefty sell-on clause. And what's happened now is Ipswich have got relegated, but my man's stock has gone through the roof. Omari Hutchinson is now actively a very good footballer to the point where clubs are wanting him. Clubs are willing to pay serious dinero, serious moolah, serious P, serious dengue for this gentleman. And it looks like Nottingham Forest have agreed a fee, and there's a here we go from Fabrizio Romano of 37.5 million. So a lot of you are saying, why do we care? Well, that sell-on fee comes close to 9.4 million, something like that. And this is extra money that Chelsea are going to receive. Mark Guehi, on the other hand, well, Guehi, there's a 25 million sell-on fee. And this is on the profit. And I think originally we sold him for around about 20 million to Palace. So whatever he goes to Liverpool for, anything above 20 million, on that, we've got like 25%. This is extra revenue that Chelsea need. Look, with the stadium being the way that it is, we love Stamford Bridge. Honestly, every time I go to Stamford Bridge, goosebumps. Every time I'm there for a night game, honestly, I am in awe of how beautiful the stadium is. Whether it's from the outside and how nice it looks, or whether it's from the inside and you come out, the pitch is nice and green, the floodlights are on, and you absolutely adore it. But what Stamford Bridge doesn't have is enough seats, so we always miss out on revenue. This is one way of working to get extra revenue. Buy young players, you sell them, there's a sell-on clause, they go on to achieve what they need, and then you get paid even more in abundance. This will enable us to be competitive. Long term, it might look like we have to leave Stamford Bridge, but in the short term, this is the way to go. Guys, this was the Kavkas View. What I want to say is we've got big decisions to make. Whether it's we need a new centre half, whether it's Marco Correa re-signing and now we've got our long-term left back, be positive. The season has just started. We are going to have a brilliant season. All of us are going to enjoy it. The Kavkas View will be here. No matter whether it's the transfer period or not, I am keeping you up with the Chelsea. This will be your go-to joint to come for Chelsea news, I promise you. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and go over here if you need more Kavkas View for the predictions for this year. My 1 to 20 outlandish shouts, go check it out. It's a prediction video. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the sun.